Diego and Mateo stood in the grand central hall of the mansion. A calm and dignified spirit approached them, his face kind and his eyes full of a gentle wisdom. "Diego, my son," Mateo said, "I want you to meet my old friend Arturo. On earth, he lived the principles of creation beautifully." "A pleasure to meet you," Diego said with deep respect. "I have so many questions. Grandfather said I should not compete. How can I do business then? Shouldn't I think about my own profit in a transaction?" "I did not say do not transact," Mateo clarified. "I said do not transact unfairly. You should not take something for nothing, but rather you must give to every person more than you take from them." "Give more?" Diego asked, confused. "I'll go bankrupt that way." Arturo spoke for the first time, his voice warm and deep. "No, Diego, you cannot give every person more in cash value than you take, but you can give them more in use value than the cash value of the thing you take from them. Consider this book whose principles you are learning," Mateo offered. "The cost of its paper and ink is far less than the money paid for it. But if its ideas bring you thousands of dollars in wealth, has the seller deceived you? No, he has given you an immense use value for a small cash value." "Exactly," Arturo affirmed. "On Earth, I built modern agricultural machinery. I would sell a machine to a farmer for $500, but that machine allowed him to harvest thousands of dollars more in produce, transforming his family's life and serving his community. In every transaction, I was adding to the life of the world. When you move to the creative plane, if you sell something that does not add more to a person's life than what he gives in return, you can safely stop that work. You do not need to beat anyone in business." "This is about customers," Diego reasoned. "What about my employees? To make a profit, I have to pay them less in cash value than what they produce for me. Isn't that competition?" A knowing smile touched Arturo's lips, for this was a question he had lived his entire life. "That is a creative viewpoint, not a competitive one. You can organize your business so that it is full of the principle of advancement. You turn your business into a ladder that any employee who makes the effort can climb to wealth. You provide the opportunity. If he does not want to climb, it is not your fault." They stepped out into a garden where thoughts were slowly and visibly transforming into the shapes of plants and objects. "Another question," Diego said. "If my wealth is created from the formless substance, does that mean if I want a sewing machine for Sophia, I have to think about it so much that it suddenly appears out of thin air?" Mateo and Arturo both laughed softly. "Not in that way, Diego," Mateo said. "If you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with absolute certainty that it is either being made or is on its way to you. After forming the thought, have unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think or speak of it in any other way. Consider it yours right now." "But how will I get it?" "Through the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men," Arturo explained. "Perhaps a man from Japan will be moved to start a transaction that results in you getting what you want. And do not worry, this affair will be as much to his advantage as it is to yours. The thinking substance is in everyone, connected to everyone, and can influence everyone." They arrived at a beautiful piano made of pure crystal. Mateo pointed to it. "I once saw a little boy at a piano, desperately trying to play a beautiful song. He was sad and angry. I asked why. He said, 'I can feel the music inside me, but I can't get my hands to move right.' That music within him was the longing of the original substance, which held all the possibilities of life. All that music was seeking to be expressed through that child. This is a great truth, Diego, Arturo added. God, that one substance, is trying to live, act, and enjoy through humanity. He says, I want hands to build wonderful structures, play divine harmonies, paint magnificent pictures. I want eyes to see my beauties and tongues to speak mighty truths. Therefore, Mateo concluded, the desire you feel for wealth is the infinite being seeking to express itself in you, just as it sought to express music in that little boy. So do not hesitate in wanting much. Your duty is to focus and express the desires of God. This is the hardest part for most people, Arturo mused, a reminiscent look in his eyes. They cling to the old idea of poverty as something divine. They think God has finished his work and there isn't enough to go around, so they are ashamed to ask for wealth. They settle for a mere hand-to-mouth existence. He continued, I had a student, a very poor man. When I told him to form a clear picture of what he wanted, he was so steeped in poverty he could not grasp that all wealth was his. After much thought, he decided he could reasonably ask for a new rug for his best room and a coal stove for the winter. He followed the instructions and, in a few months, he obtained them. How wonderful, Diego exclaimed. And then, Arturo said with a meaningful smile, he suddenly realized that he had asked for too little. He walked through his house and designed all the changes he wanted, a large window here, a room there, until the ideal house was complete in his mind. He held that whole picture, began to live in the certain way, and moved towards what he wanted. Today, he owns that very house and is remodeling it according to his mental image. And now, with a much greater faith, he is moving on to greater things. It was given to him according to his faith, and so it is for you and for all of us. Diego closed his eyes. This time his mind went far beyond asking for a small sum for Leo's camp. He saw a beautiful, spacious house for Sophia, a bright art studio full of color for Leo, a prosperous and creative business for himself, one in which he served others and added to the life of the world. The shame of asking had finally given way to the sacred duty of imagining greatly.